So you're about to experience your first Ramadan as a Muslim.
That's got to be exciting.
Definitely. And we're diving deep into Ramadan Guide. Finding strength as a new Muslim seems like the perfect source.
Oh, yeah, I can see why you picked that one.
It even acknowledges that Ramadan, while special, can be a little daunting for new Muslims,
It really can.
especially for someone new to the faith.
It's interesting, you know how the guide jumps right into the emotional side of things?
Oh, yeah.
It addresses the feeling of loneliness
Okay.
that a lot of new Muslims experience, especially during Ramadan.
Yeah, it really hit me how the guide emphasizes that you're not alone in this.
Right.
It even brings up how the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him,
Yeah.
and his early followers faced similar difficulties.
It's amazing.
Makes you think, huh,
Yeah, it is. I never thought about it like that.
how history can be so relatable.
It is, but it's not just about, shared struggles or anything like that.
Right.
The guide actually offers solutions,
Yeah.
practical ones.
Oh, that's awesome. Like,
So like joining an online or local Muslim community,
okay.
visiting a mosque,
Yeah.
or even just engaging with Islamic content online.
Interesting.
All those can help foster a sense of belonging.
It's all about connections,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Building those connections.
You're so smart. And then the guide tackles family opposition, which can be so tough.
It can be.
But the guide suggests responding with kindness, wisdom, and prayer, just like the Prophet, peace be upon him, did.
Yeah, and what's important here is it emphasizes patience and understanding.
Okay.
It encourages new Muslims to demonstrate Islam
Yeah.
through their actions rather than arguments.
Sometimes actions speak louder than words.
They do.
I love that approach.
Yeah.
It's about embodying the beauty of Islam.
Uh-huh.
Speaking of embodying,
Okay.
let's talk about fasting.
Yeah.
So the guide gets real about the hunger, the thirst, and the fatigue
Right. Especially initially.
that you might experience,
Yeah, it acknowledges the difficulty,
especially at first.
but it reminds you.
It gets easier.
Right.
It frames fasting as this journey of building mental strength and spiritual growth,
I like that.
like a workout for your soul.
I love that.
Might be challenging at first, but you get stronger
Right.
over time.
So to help you along the way, the guide provides practical tips, like eating a healthy suhoor.
Yes.
That's the pre-dawn meal before the fast begins,
Right.
and staying hydrated before Fajr,
Yeah.
the morning prayer.
Yeah.
There's some key details,
Oh.
just some things to remember.
What's interesting, though, is it emphasizes that Ramadan is about self-control and discipline,
Right.
not just about enduring hunger and thirst.
Right. It's about pushing your limits,
Uh-huh.
discovering your inner strength.
Yeah. And now what about prayer?
Okay.
The guide acknowledges that it can be overwhelming for new Muslims,
Yeah, it can.
especially if you're still learning. It
Yeah.
suggests starting small,
Okay.
maybe with shorter surahs from the Quran.
And using transliterations
Okay.
if needed.
I appreciate that.
Like it's saying, hey, wherever you are in your journey, Allah sees your effort.
That's so reassuring for somebody new to the faith.
Yes, it is.
And finally, the guide wraps up with this super uplifting message.
Okay.
Ramadan is about progress, not perfection.
Right.
Every effort you make is a step forward.
It is. And every step brings you closer to a deeper understanding of yourself and your faith.
So true. It's a beautiful journey.
It is. It is.
Speaking of journeys, this deep dive is just a taste of what we offer.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine the insights you could gain from subscribing to the deep dive.
And don't forget, we have a free Ramadan guide
Oh, that's awesome.
that you can download right now.
Perfect.
It's packed with additional tips, advice, and resources, especially for new Muslims like yourself.
We'll find the link in the show notes.
Yeah.
Consider it a little something to help you along the way.
So as you embark on this incredible journey of Ramadan, remember you are not alone. We're here for you.
It's true.
And the entire Muslim community is ready to welcome you with open arms. And building on that sense of community, the guide goes into this whole thing about cultural nuances around Ramadan.
That's interesting because sometimes those cultural aspects can be even more confusing than the actual religious guidelines.
Oh, for sure. And the guide acknowledges that a lot of new Muslims come from different backgrounds.
Right.
And might encounter various, practices and traditions.
And they're not all rooted in the Islamic teachings.
Exactly. So it really encourages you to kind of question things and seek clarification.
Okay.
Make sure that you're following what is authentically Islamic.
So developing that critical thinking and discernment, especially when you encounter practices that may not align with the true spirit of Ramadan.
Yeah, and the guide even gives some examples,
Oh, really? Like what?
like the emphasis on these elaborate meals and lavish iftars in some cultures.
It's a good reminder, though, right?
Yeah,
That while breaking the fast with family and friends is a beautiful tradition,
it is.
the focus should be on simplicity, gratitude, and spiritual reflection,
Yeah.
not on extravagant feasts.
Right. It's about connecting with the core essence of Ramadan,
Right.
drawing closer to Allah through prayer, fasting, charity, and self-improvement.
And that's where the guide's advice on seeking knowledge becomes so valuable.
Yes, it is.
It encourages new Muslims to actively learn about the Islamic teachings behind Ramadan practices.
That way you can differentiate between what's essential
Yeah,
and what's cultural.
exactly.
And if you're ever unsure, the guide even suggests, reaching out to trusted scholars or imams for clarification.
It's like having a guide within the guide,
Right.
helping you navigate this new world with confidence.
Yeah.
And building on that, the guide also addresses the social dimension of Ramadan.
Okay.
So it's not just about individual spiritual growth,
Uh-huh.
but also about strengthening community ties
Yeah.
and extending a helping hand.
Ramadan is a time for the whole community to come together.
It is.
And so the guide highlights the importance of engaging in acts of charity and community service during this time.
Like what kind of things?
It encourages things like volunteering at local food banks, donating to charitable causes,
Yeah.
or even just reaching out to neighbors and offering support.
So it's about sharing our blessings
Yeah,
and fostering that spirit of generosity and compassion.
exactly. It's a time to uplift one another.
Absolutely.
And it even offers practical ways to do this.
Oh, look what?
Like organizing community iftars, participating in fundraising campaigns,
Okay.
or even just spending time with those less fortunate.
Makes sense. These acts of service add another layer of meaning to the month.
They do.
It's beautiful how Ramadan encourages not just personal piety,
Uh-huh.
but transforming ourselves and our communities for the better.
And that transformation can be deeply personal too.
Yeah.
The guide actually dedicates a whole section to the concept of spiritual renewal during Ramadan.
I like that.
It talks about using this month as an opportunity to break free from bad habits,
Okay.
strengthen our connection with Allah, and cultivate positive character traits.
That's where that idea of Ramadan being like a spiritual boot camp comes in again.
Exactly.
I love that analogy.
It encourages self-reflection,
Yeah.
Identifying areas where we can improve
Right.
and making a conscious effort to become better versions of ourselves.
And just like with physical training, it provides, tools and guidance.
Exactly.
The guide talks about setting realistic goals,
Mm-hmm.
tracking progress, and seeking support from our communities.
Yeah.
It's like the guide is saying, Ramadan is a time for spiritual spring cleaning. Let's declutter our hearts, polish our souls, and emerge feeling refreshed and rejuvenated.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
I like that.
And this process of spiritual growth doesn't end with Ramadan.
Right. It encourages carrying those lessons and habits forward,
Exactly.
keeping that spirit of devotion alive throughout the year.
It's about making Ramadan a launching pad for a lifelong journey of transformation.
This guide really is incredible.
It is.
It doesn't just provide information about Ramadan rituals.
Yeah.
It explores their deeper meaning and purpose.
And it inspires us to approach Ramadan with intentionality and mindfulness, with a true desire to grow closer to Allah.
And while reassuring us that every effort we make, no matter how small, is recognized and rewarded by Allah.
Exactly. It's like having this wise and compassionate mentor walking alongside us, reminding us of our potential and encouraging us to strive for excellence in every aspect of our lives.
Speaking of mentors, this deep dive is just a glimpse of the insights we offer on the deep dive.
Imagine the wealth of knowledge you could gain by subscribing to our show.
Right.
We explore a wide range of Islamic topics, always aiming to provide value and support.
Absolutely. And remember, we have a fantastic free Ramadan guide packed with even more tips, advice, and resources tailored specifically for new Muslims.
You'll find the download link in the show notes.
It's our way of supporting you on this amazing journey.
So as you embark on this incredible journey, remember, you are not alone.
That's so true.
We're here with you, along with a global community of believers. Let's embrace this Ramadan with open hearts and a thirst for knowledge and growth.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. The guide also talks about finding peace and tranquility during Ramadan, even amidst the business of life.
Ah, yes. This is where the guide's emphasis on mindfulness and intentionality really shines through. It encourages us to slow down, be present, and truly savor the beauty of this month.
It's a reminder that Ramadan is about more than just abstaining from food and drink.
It's about disconnecting from worldly distractions and connecting with our inner selves and with Allah.
So creating space for spiritual reflection,
Exactly. The guide encourages things like mindful eating, journaling, spending time in nature.
all to cultivate peace and tranquility.
It even suggests creating a dedicated space for prayer and reflection.
Think of it as a personal sanctuary, a place where you can escape the noise and chaos of daily life and reconnect with your spiritual center.
It's about creating an environment that supports your inner peace, allowing you to fully experience the transformative power of Ramadan.
You know what I find remarkable about this guide? Is that it acknowledges that spiritual growth is not just about following rituals.
Right.
It's about cultivating a state of being.
It's about finding that inner peace that then radiates outward, influencing our thoughts, actions, and interactions with everyone around us.
And that brings us to another key theme the guide addresses: forgiveness and reconciliation during Ramadan. It's a time for letting go of grudges and mending broken relationships.
So seeking forgiveness from those we've wronged
Yeah.
and offering forgiveness to those who have wronged us.
Right.
Precisely. The guide encourages us to approach others with compassion and understanding,
Yeah.
a willingness to forgive just as Allah forgives us.
And it even offers practical tips on how to initiate reconciliation.
Like writing a heartfelt letter, making a sincere apology, or simply reaching out and expressing a desire to mend the relationship.
It's a beautiful reminder that holding on to anger and resentment only hurts us in the long run.
Forgiveness truly is a powerful act of liberation, both for the one offering it and the one receiving it.
And that act of forgiveness can extend beyond our personal relationships to the wider world.
You're right. The guide also reminds us of our responsibility to care for those in need, to advocate for justice, and to work towards creating a more equitable and compassionate world.
It's a call to action, urging us to use our voices, resources, and platforms to make a positive impact.
And it doesn't have to be grand gestures. Every act of kindness, every step towards justice, every effort to make a difference, no matter how small, contributes to building a better future for all.
This guide beautifully connects the personal and the societal, the spiritual and the practical. It's a reminder that our faith should be reflected in our actions and in how we treat others.
And speaking of actions, taking that first step to deepen your understanding of Islam can be incredibly rewarding. This deep dive is just a small sample of the insights we offer on the deep dive.
Imagine the wealth of knowledge you could gain by subscribing to our show.
We explore a wide range of Islamic topics, always aiming to provide value and support.
And remember, we have a fantastic free Ramadan guide packed with even more tips, advice, and resources tailored specifically for new Muslims like yourself.
You'll find the download link in the show notes.
It's our way of supporting you on this amazing journey.
So as you embark on this incredible journey, remember, you are not alone.
We're here for you.
We're here with you along with a global community of believers. Let's embrace this Ramadan with open hearts and a thirst for knowledge and growth.
It's about using this month as an opportunity to break free from bad habits, cultivate positive character traits, and strengthen our connection with Allah.
The guide even offers some tangible ways to approach this inner transformation,
Like that.
like setting personal goals for spiritual growth, tracking our progress,
Yeah.
and seeking support from those around us.
So approaching Ramadan with a conscious intention to purify our hearts, minds, and souls.
It's really powerful how the guide recognizes that true change starts within.
Right? It's not just about following the rules, it's about transforming our inner landscape so that our actions flow naturally from sincerity, compassion, and devotion.
And then that inner transformation shows up in how we treat others, the choices we make, and the impact we have on the world.
This deep dive has given us so much to think about.
It has.
It's just a small taste of the insights and inspiration we offer on the deep dive.
If you subscribe to our show, you unlock a wealth of knowledge, perspectives, and guidance that will enrich your understanding of Islam and support you on your spiritual journey.
And remember, we have that amazing free Ramadan guide packed with practical tips, advice, and inspiration specifically for new Muslims embracing this blessed month.
You'll find the link in the show notes.
We're here to support you every step of the way.
You're not alone, and we're excited to be part of your journey of discovery and growth.
As we wrap up this deep dive into the Ramadan guide for new Muslims, what stands out to me is its overarching message of hope and empowerment.
It really is. You know, acknowledges the challenges of being a new Muslim, especially during Ramadan, but it never lets those challenges overshadow the beauty of the journey.
Right. It's like the guide is saying, hey, we get it. This can feel overwhelming, but you've got this.
Exactly.
It reframes those challenges as opportunities for growth.
And it reminds you that you're not alone on this path.
Right.
You know, there's a whole community ready to support you, and Allah's mercy and guidance are always there.
I love how it blends practical advice with spiritual encouragement.
Yeah.
It's like, here's what you can do and here's why it matters.
Yes.
On a deeper level.
Nourishing both the mind and the soul.
Absolutely. It always brings you back to the essence of Ramadan, connecting with Allah, purifying your heart, and becoming the best version of yourself.
And it reminds us that it's not about being perfect, it's about striving for progress.
Right.
Every effort you make is a victory.
To all the new Muslims out there preparing for Ramadan, be kind to yourselves. Celebrate your small wins and never hesitate to reach out for support.
Yeah, there are so many resources available, including our awesome free Ramadan guide.
You can find it in the show notes.
And if you enjoyed this deep dive, imagine the insights you'll gain from subscribing to our show. We have a whole library of episodes covering a wide range of Islamic topics.
We're always adding more, so dive and explore, and let's continue this journey of learning and growth together.
Remember, you're not alone. The blessings of Ramadan are waiting for you.
May this Ramadan be a time of spiritual renewal, growth, and joy for you.
And may it bring you closer to Allah and to a deeper understanding of your faith.
Until next time, peace be upon you.